We're on a very damp road surface here, a lot of overbanding, potholes and drain covers as well. Our rider is riding at a speed that is appropriate to these conditions and trying to find the correct line to negotiate this left bend. He's seen the drain cover in good time and has moved away so that he's not on the drain cover as he goes around this corner. On a similar type of road surface, this time though we've got some damp patches, we've got some scarring on the road. Our rider's doing quite well here, trying to maintain a line through this series of bends on the sound surfaces. But as you can see, he's got himself into a little bit of a rut here, so that's clearly destabilised the machine. Back in a rural location, the road surface is dry, but there is debris on the side of the road there. And we are going to be turning right very shortly, so we might come across some gravel, some loose surface, mud on the road. He's done a good observation on the approach to the hazard, and that's a nice lifesaver. He's got his speed well down, and keeping the bike as upright as possible, he's negotiated that hazard very well. So we're on a single carriageway A-class road. Good surface at this point in time, but I wonder if he's actually seen that sign on the left there which was warning of mud on the road. Always get agricultural vehicles maybe coming onto surfaces like this, and indeed there it is, and he's taken a nice safe line there. That was well done. Here we see our rider having to deal with windy and very wet conditions. Coupled with this, there's a lot of spray coming off other road users, which is obviously affecting his visibility. It's nice to see him checking his mirrors and updating himself regularly on what's actually happening behind him, and faster drivers passing him on the offside lane. You can really see the effect of the stability of the machine as he passes under the bridge. Looking at this from our rider's point of view, low sun on a wet road surface, particularly in the winter, can be very challenging. Our rider is responding well to these conditions, is slowing down and maintaining a good safety position between himself and the vehicle in front. The state of the road surface is very important to motorcyclists. Any change in surface can affect the stability of the machine. Here, the rider has had to sacrifice position for safety to avoid the wet drain cover and overbanding. Had he ridden over the slippery drain cover whilst leaning, he could have lost control. This rider has seen the warning sign for mud on the road and positions before the bend to give him an early view of the impending hazard. There are two options open to him. He either positions on the left or the right of the mud on the road surface. Whilst not incorrect, this leaves him in a vulnerable position from any oncoming vehicles and flying debris.
Road surface issues. We're on a good open A-class road, travelling at the national speed limit. Look at the road surface. We can clearly see that in parts it's kind of worn out the tarmac. That's not going to offer us any kind of grip. We're passing some signs now indicating a site entrance, and we've got to anticipate there could be some mud dragged from the fields onto the actual road surface. On the approach to this roundabout, we've got to be aware of things like diesel spills. It's a cold morning. Is there any ice down? Is it damp? These are all things that we must think about. It'd be very easy to lose control if we're not aware of some of the hazards that could be on the actual road surface. You can clearly see salt that's been laid down through the night in the centre of the carriageway at that point. We've now got problems with the low sun, very, very difficult in the winter time. We're actually going to get blinded, so all we can actually do is reduce speed. It's very, very difficult to make out things while the sun is shining so brightly into your eyes. We actually lose sight of the road surface at this point. Again, if we can't stop in the distance we can see to be clear, then we're travelling at a too high a speed. Riding at night, it's more difficult to pick out any hazards, particularly road surface issues. Always use main beam, but be aware of any oncoming vehicles that you're not going to blind them. If we have to return to dipped beam, then we need to reduce our road speed, because clearly we can't see up ahead of us. As can be seen now, we've got some rolling mist, and on main beam it makes it very, very difficult to make out any objects. It can be so severe that you can't even see the road surface, and at this point we must reduce speed If we can't see, then we can't react to any hazards that might be on the road surface.